black men are beginning to think for themselves and thus are facing a barrage of smears from the Democrats. All because, again, they're not marching in lockstep behind Kamala Harris, not all of them at least. And instead of blaming her decades of neglect toward their community, the left is just accusing black men of being misogynists. That works. New York Times columnist Charles Blow writing today, for a long time, anti-racism and compassionate safety net policies were the glue that held nearly all black voters together with Democrats. But the patriarchy speaks to men in a particular way, and more black men are may simply be drifting in that direction. Joining me now, spokesman for the patriarchy, Horace Cooper, Project 21 chair. That was an actual column in the New York Times. Blame the patriarchy.
I read it and laughed. Look, we at Project 21 saw the NBC poll that said 33% in 2024, 33% of black men are moving to either center or right positions. And we at Project 21 have been trying to make that occur. But it has been easier for the left to do it. When they talk about the patriarchy, these woke terms alienate black men. And one of the biggest groups within black men that it alienates are blue-collar workers. Blue-collar black men are more likely and certainly extremely likely to have the same idea about the world as white blue-collar workers.
Well, their jobs are going overseas or going to migrants.
Absolutely.
So migrants are getting their jobs, or the jobs are being shipped overseas because Wall Street does better when that happens. How's that working for them?
We send people to the grocery store, and their eyes are poked out with hot pokers.
Outrageous.
And then you're supposed to say, ignore all of that.
Thank you, Kamala. May I have another?
Exactly.
All right, Horace, Don Lemon, your buddy, returned to CNN this week, and he issued kind of a correction. Watch.
I went up to people just doing man on the street and said, who are you going to vote for? Black men. And time after time after time, they said, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Why?
Now, their reasons why. They said because most of the time they said, well, you know, for economic reasons, right? Or because he gave me a stimulus check. And I had to correct them over and over and tell them where that stimulus check came from a Democratic Congress and from Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, so Horace, he's the national corrector of misunderstandings, apparently. Black men can't think for themselves.
Maybe he ought to start with figuring out how he can behave as a person on the air without mistreating women and acting in a misogynistic way. But putting that aside, black men do not believe that all of these woke, progressive ideas are practical for them and their lives. I said in my book, Put Y'all Back in Chains.
Oh, yeah, I love that book.
It is those woke policies that have been alienated.
Yeah, but Horace, these guys are all like, I had more money in my pocket. My wages were going up. I had more money.
Change operations for prisoners?
No, well, they don't like that, but the economy's number one for all people.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But they're crazy, these ideas of how they would like to solve the problems that Americans face, and black Americans are rebelling against it.
Horace, what are your pronouns, by the way?
He, him, or your Royal Majesty.
I'm going to stick with Your Majesty. Your Majesty,